have two coordinates x, y. The point is called single point. Single point. A single point. Graph function of two variables. Okay? In the sense, this contains the old point. Old point. Satisfies it. F, y, f, f, y. Graph function, all the way we call the surface là mặt nhé. Cái surface là mặt. Surface. Không gọi là survey mà surface. Surface. Mặt. Ví dụ như mặt cong, mặt cầu. Mặt cong này, mặt cầu này. Thì đây là những cái vòng đó. Đồ thị của cái hàm đấy người ta gọi là surface. Tức là tên gọi chuẩn ra là phải gọi là surface. Okay, continue to enunciate for the graph function, enunciate for surface. Imagine the graph function z equals square root 9 minus x squared minus y squared. Graph function. This contains the old point, and coordinates x, y. Square root 9 minus x squared minus y squared. When x, y belong to domain. Okay, now continue. We want to express the graph function f in OFY plane. What do you think about the shape of this graph? Now you can see all point satisfy this x, y, z. You can see x squared plus y squared plus z squared. I think it equals 9. 9. Okay? 9. So the graph function f equals to the sphere, semi-sphere. Semi-sphere, nửa hình cầu. Semi là nửa nhé. Sphere là hình cầu. Okay? Semi-sphere. Okay, I think you can draw the semi-sphere. Okay, you can see it will be in draw the semicircle. To continue, you draw that. You draw. You take the center. Okay, you can draw the semi-sphere. Okay. So what you can do to draw the semi-sphere. Okay. Now continue. We have the other definition. We have to do the level curve. Level curve. Level curve. Chữ curve đây là chữ đường cong. Đường cong. Level curve. Tên gọi tiếng Việt của nó là đường bước. Đường bước. Level curve. The level curve function as a truth triangle is a curve satisfies the equation mf equal constant where c constant belongs to the range of function f. Level curve. Đường bước. Okay. Now, let me give you an example. You want to elongate the level curve in OFY way. Now, we want to express the level curve function z is equal square root 9 minus x squared minus y squared. We can take the c equal 1, 2, 3. Now, let's see. If we take c equal 3, what do you think? If we take the equal 3, it that means the z equal 3. Okay? Z equal 3, okay? Z equal 3 is that means the x squared plus the y squared equals 0. Okay? If we take the c equal 3, the level curve corresponding to c equal 3, okay, I take only one. Only one point. Okay? Awesome. To continue, we can express the level curve corresponding to c equals 0. C equals 0. What do you think? If we take the c equals 0, it that means z equals 0. Z equals 0 is that means x squared plus y squared equals 9. Okay? X squared plus the y squared equals 9. Corresponding to the circle, the center is ordered and radius 3. Okay? You can see? Corresponding to c equals 0. There we go. Okay? Similar to answer. Similar to answer. Okay? Does that mean you can express the level curve in two-dimensional space? The level curve. The level curve. Okay, I think you can draw the level curve for c equals 0 and c equals 3. I think that is enough. Ở đây mình có nhiều cái c này các bạn có thể chỉ cần lấy c bằng 0 với c bằng 3 thôi nhé. Được không nhỉ? Cho nó dễ viết. Tùy các bạn. Tùy các bạn. Okay? Now, continue. We have the limit of function. Limit of function. Before that, we remind you about the limit of sequence. Okay? The limit of function. We conventionally say that the sequence point f belong to R2. Converse to the point M0 if the distance between the M0 and M tends to 0. Conventional. Conventionally. Okay? Now, I think you know the point M and Y tend to the point M0, Y0. What does it mean? Equivalent to the distance between the M and 0 is 10 to 0. Okay? Distance. Okay, I think you know the distance here is equal M minus M0 squared plus the Y minus Y0 squared. Okay, I think you know the distance. So the condition M tends to M0 equivalent to the value here tends to 0. Okay, the value tends to 0. So we have some note for that. The conjugate M and Y tend to M0 equivalent to the sum 10 to 0. 10 to 0. Of course, you can see if the sum here 10 to 0, it can mean X 10 to X0, Y 10 to Y0. Of course, two limit here tend to simultaneously đồng thời. Okay? Simultaneously đồng thời.
Bình tĩnh.
Thế này các bạn đọc mà chính cái R2 có học hóa thì các bạn đọc là A2 cũng được nhé. Còn nếu bình thường đọc chuẩn ra là phải là two dimensional space, tức là không gian hai chiều. R2 được không nhỉ? Còn tóm tắt chúng ta đọc tiếng Việt A2 là capital A2. Được chưa nhỉ? Nhé, đọc tóm tắt một chút, sao cả. Và tất nhiên chuẩn phải đọc là two dimensional space. Ok, chúng ta hai chiều. Okay. Okay, the first note to continue to the second note. Now, I think corresponding to the first, the one dimensional space, the point M tend to M0 means that m approach m0 but never equal m0. Okay? The conjugate m tends to m0 means that m approaches m0 but does not coincide with m0. Không trùng. Nó chỉ tiến đến thôi, không trùng. M tends to m0 but I am not identical with m0. Not coincide with m0. Coincide with m0. Okay, now we have the definition related to limit of function. Is it here we went into the two definition. The first is into the intuitive definition, which is one. The second is into the bitwise, precise definition. Precise definition, which is precise. Now, first it gets into the intuitive definition. If the point m tends to m0, we can imply the value mm tends to m. We say that the function f converges to L, and we write the limit at m tends to m0 equals L. Okay? The definition here is called intuitive definition. Định cái trực quan. Định cái trực quan tức là không mô tả cái chính xác. Và chúng ta sẽ thường sử dụng định nghĩa này để mà làm, để mà tìm cái giới hạn không. Ta không thể cập đến định nghĩa chính xác, định nghĩa chính xác rất là khó, nó dựa vào epsilon delta. In a set for intuitive definition, I give you an example. Compute the limit. The limit is f plus y. When the point fy tends to 2, 1. Now, how to find the limit? Express on the node 1. Express the node 1. Fy tends to 2, 1. Is that mean x tends to 2, y tends to 1. Simultaneously. Okay? Express on this property, we estimate the limit. Now, let's see how to estimate. The solution from the node 1. Okay? You can see this point, fy tends to 2, 1. It does mean x tends to 2, y tends to 1, simultaneously. Okay? It's where the x tends to 2, y tends to 1, simultaneously. We can imply the sum f plus y tends to 1 plus 2. Does that mean the value f plus y tends to 3? This way on the intuitive definition. Okay, we can imply the limit we consider here have the limit 3. Okay, this way on the intuitive definition. Okay, we can write down those portions. Okay. Okay, we need to write down those portions. Now continue, we move to the second definition. Okay, I want to move to the precise version of limit. We define the limit function is based on pi epsilon and delta. Epsilon by delta. Okay. Now let's see the precise version. Precise version. Let that a function defined in open book, the center angle and greater by epsilon. This may be not zero. The function f have a limit L as m tends to n0 if for each by epsilon positive only exist delta is based on the n0 and by epsilon. Such as if the distance between the m and n0 less than delta, we have mm minus l, okay, less than by epsilon. In this case, we denote the limit m tends to n0 is equal l. I think you want to give precise person here to do the exercise is not easy. It's not easy. So in this section, okay, you can ignore that. You only use institute definition to do that. Okay? Intuitive definition to do that. You can additional precise definition. Intuitive definition, I'm sorry. We only use intuitive definition. Cái định nghĩa này rất khó để làm, kể cả trong một chiều đã khó làm. Có đúng nhỉ? Trong một chiều khó dùng rồi. Cho nên ở đây chúng ta cũng chính là cái định nghĩa phần một thôi, tức là định nghĩa trực quan thôi. Ta dùng định nghĩa trực quan làm thôi. Intuitive definition. Đây là mình nói thế này nhiều quá rồi tiếng chịu. Các bạn thông cảm. Rồi khi nói nhiều quá thì không tốt. Okay, you can see two definitions of limit of several functions similar to definition of limit of single private function. The same. So we have the theorem. Express the limit of function. Okay, we can use the limit of sequence to express. Now, we have the term delay sequence. The sequence. The existence of function, okay, is based on the precise definition, equivalent to the fact that for every sequence of point, f and e belong to domain conversing to n0. We have the value of sequence tend to L. Okay? Does that mean all sequence point is tend to n0 have the same limit. Okay? Have the same limit. From this term, if the function f has the limit when f tend to n0, does that mean for all the sequence tend to n0, the value f tend to only one limit. From that, we have the corollary. If the function f has the limit when f tends to n0, the limit unit, the limit only one. Okay, we have only one limit, the limit unit. Cái này giống như trong định nghĩa một biến âm nhẹ. Nếu giới hạn mà lấy một hàm dấu giới hạn thì giới hạn duy nhất chưa? Giới hạn duy nhất. Now we have the corollary of this term. If the limit m tend to n0 is finite, then this limit the unit. Does that mean the function f has the only one limit? If the m tends to n0. We can describe the theorem here by the figure. When m tends to n0, we have the value function f tends to L. Only one limit. The limit unit. Okay, based on the property of simple variable function, we can prove that the function f has no limit. But we saw the two-way m tend to n0. The value function f to different limits. Okay, we can prove the function f has no limit. Okay, the similar to property of simple variable function. You got it? Okay. I give you the corollary delay to non-existence of a limit. To prove that the limit of function doesn't exist, it suffices to show that there exist two different sequence of point fy tend to f0, y0. Okay? It makes the function f approaches two different limits. To interchange for corollary, I give you example. Compute the limit. In this example, we prove the limit here doesn't exist. The method we use, we saw two-way fy tend to constant is when the function tend to two different values. Okay, we can prove that. For simplicity, we let m x m0 equals to the order 0, 0. The function mm equal xy over x squared plus y squared. Okay, continue. Okay, the idea is going on the corollary. We need to show the two-way. Okay, two-way n tend to n0. The value function x tend to different way. Different limits. Okay, now the idea. We will show that avoiding analysis by considering two different paths approaching n0, along with the value function x tend to two different limits. The idea. Okay, you can write down. To continue question to the two paths, if you make the function x tend to two different limits. Okay? Now, we saw two different paths approach n0. The value function f tend to different limits. n0 order. Okay, we have the two different paths. The first, if we take the n tend to n0, n belong to x-axis, n tend to n0. When n belong to x-axis, y-axis, n has a form, okay? If the n belong here, n has this form, x0. Now, if the n tend to n0, tend to 0, 0, what does it mean? Does it mean n tend to 0? N tend to 0. Okay? Now, we need to value fm. What value fm? What value? xy over x squared plus y squared. Is it here? M have coordinates x0. M has the form is that mean the y equals 0. Okay, we can substitution y equals 0. We have a value here, we can put 0. Okay, so the Fm is equals 0. Does that mean when M belongs to x-axis, M tend to n0? We have the value function M tend to 0. Tend to 0? Okay, the first way, we show when M belongs to x-axis, we have the value function M tend to 0. Now, you can write down the first the first part one. When m belongs to x-axis, m tends to m0. Okay? This condition equivalent to m times the form m0 with the m tends to 0. In this case, okay, we can evaluate m is equal to m over x squared plus y squared. M times the form m0. Okay? When we replace the y equals 0, we have m equals 0. Does that mean when m tends to m0, m belongs to x-axis, we have value m tends to 0. Okay, the first part, the value of the m tends to 0. Tends to 0. To continue, we can do the second way. It may be we can take m tends to m0. M it belongs this path. M it belongs this line. Have equation y equal x. M it belongs this line. M tends to m0. What happened? If the m it belongs this line y equal x, m tends to m0. What does it mean? We can express the m by this. Okay? M have coordinate at x, that means the y equal x. When m tends to 0, 0, okay, equivalent to m tends to 0. Now, continue, we want to estimate the value function f if the m it belongs to this line. Okay, in this case we have the y equal x. When we replace the y equal x, okay, we have the value function f as this m is equal to x squared over 2x squared. Okay, we can reduce value here is equal equal 1 second. 1 second. Okay? This does mean when m belongs to this line, we have the value function f tends to 1 second. Okay? Different from 0. Does that mean we have the two way tend to m0? The value f tends to different limits. Okay? So we have conclusion about the extinction of this limit. Part 2. Part 2. Okay? You can write out. Part 2, you can write out. Okay, from this, according to the law of sequence, con sequence này cũng là hệ quả nhé. Cái chữ này cũng là hệ quả, danh từ thôi. Còn cái từ quán học hay dùng là cái này nhé. Cái chữ này cũng là hệ quả nhé. Từ cái này đây là hệ quả dùng chuẩn trong cái việc viết hệ quả của định lý của tính chất thì người ta dùng cái này. Đó, còn cái hệ quả ta hay dùng thông thường ấy thì là cái này nhé, còn cái này nhé, được chưa nhỉ?
Em buổi trước có thể lắm. Em chỉ có cái phát 2 thôi. Phát 2 chỉ đấy em nói chuyện mà bình thường tôi đã đi vào bằng đúng không? Tại vì màu là thì cái này là cái thay là
Okay, continue. We need to write out the sources. Okay, now continue. We have some property of several variables. We accept property. We accept property. The limit of function of several variables have a singular property, and a single function. The concept infinite limits define similar. 2. All theorems relate to some different product and quotient. The quotient. The same. Limit of single variable function. The same. The theorem limit of sum. Does that mean limit of sum equal to sum of limit? Limit of different equal different of limits. Product and quotient the same, the similar. Okay? You finish? Okay. The theorem relates to some different product and quotient. Okay? I want to mention to the theorem here. The limit of sum. Okay? Is equal to sum limit. The same. The similar to the property of single variable function. Yes? Okay, now continue, we listen to the second theorem. The second theorem, okay, I think you know second theorem. Second theorem, okay, is similar to the pinching theorem, the similar to squeeze theorem, the same. Okay, as the name of second theorem. Nguyên lý kẹp có nghĩa lý kẹp, okay. The third thing of squeeze theorem. In the function z is like between okay, sometimes switching between the function f and n. Okay, when m tend to m0, okay, we have the function f and function z have the same limit. Then the function square between have the same limit. Okay, the contain of two terms. Ở đây ý cái kẹp có nhiều tên, có thể gọi là sandwich cho đồng được, gọi là pinching cho đồng được, gọi là squeeze cho đồng được nhé. Đây là những tên mà người ta gọi để định nghĩa này. Và ở đây người ta gọi là định ý kẹp được, còn thông thường người ta gọi là mini kẹp được. Có thể gọi mini kẹp được, gọi là định ý kẹp được tùy các bạn. Okay. Now, continue. I give you the example. We can apply switch to calculate the limit. Now, let me give you an example. We need to compute the limit. We need to compute the limit. This point x1 tends to 0, 0. 2 x power 4 plus 4 y power 4 over. Okay, over. Now we want to find the limit. This is still since we use the square term. We use square term. For simplicity, we can denote m and 0 and m. Okay? If we want to use square term, I think you need to know the function z and f. Okay, the function squeeze, the function f. Does that mean you need to evaluate f? Okay, evaluate f. Now, I think you know m tends to m0. Does that mean x squared plus y squared tends to 0? Okay? If you want to use squeeze term, I think you need to evaluate the function f. Okay, you can see. It's based on the formula function f. We have the value f all the way positive. I'm sorry, not negative. Okay, to continue, we can separate f by this. You can see denominator x squared plus the 4y squared. Does that mean denominator here all the way greater than x squared? So we have the first factor less than, the second factor less than similarly. Okay? Dividend here is equal. So we can activate the value here less than 2x squared plus y squared. Okay, we need to express the sum here by x squared plus y squared. Because when m tends to m0, we need the sum here tends to 0. Okay, so we squeeze the function f by 0 and z. Okay, you can write down before we finish the solution. What là chắc hả bạn?
Của cái này nữa, cái thằng 2x bình cái thằng fm ấy.
Vâng, chép lại một chút.
Thỉnh thoảng thầy ốm bệnh. Sao vậy? Không nhìn rõ. Thiếu kính à?
Đây là như này ha.
Limit của x y tiến tới 00 của thằng 2x mũ 4 cộng với 4 y mũ 4 trên x bình cộng 4 y. Đây là như này. Này chắc nhiều ấy. Nói quá. Xem mấy cuộc kỳ kia. Sương sương tách ra thôi.
Tách ra đằng cái mà.
Để bởi vì muốn cho thằng ấy đơn giản nhất này, để cho nó đi về một không. Xong kẹp đầu kẹp đuôi. Thế là cuối cùng một thằng giữa này nó sẽ bằng không.
À, cái này sẽ tách ra rồi đúng không? Cái này không phải nó sao không nghĩ ở đây. Nếu mà sẽ tách ra sao không nghĩ ở đây là bằng.
Tách ra đã, tách cho nó đơn giản ra xong rồi bằng.
Thế là dáng đều chắc là đúng không? Nó đang 15 là bằng. Tí nữa chắc phải tách ra là tại sao? Nếu mà cái
Về hỏi Gemini.
bởi vì nếu mà cái này bằng cái này thì nó sẽ đi là bằng. Nó sẽ là nhớ không?
Chắc phải tách ra để cho học sinh dễ hiểu. Chứ thầy cỡ thầy bằng nhát là xong. Cứ bằng một nhát luôn là bằng xuống đây luôn này. Là thôi là tùy phương hệ là lại hẹn thầy năm sau đấy. Năm sau cũng được ở lại học cùng với tao.
Okay, now we continue. Now we can see we need to estimate the limit function when m tends to n zero. I think you know the condition. M tends to n zero equivalent to s squared plus 1 squared. Now you can see the two functions 0 and 2x squared plus y squared has a limit 0. Using screen principle nguyên lý. Using screen principle, we obtain the limit considered has the same limit 0. vì chẳng qua là mình làm cái này là vì cái m đến m không thì nó liên quan đến cái bình, có đúng nhỉ? Vậy ta sẽ làm sao cố gắng hai cái hàng kẹp nó có biến được cái bình cho nó dễ, đỡ phải nói lại là x đến không và y đến không đồng thời, hiểu ý chưa nhỉ? Thì dễ làm hơn, đỡ phải nói nhiều cái chuyện là x đến không và y đến không đồng thời nhé. Vì các bạn không cần cái bước kẹp nào đến bước không sao cả, nhưng vẫn phải lập luận là x tiến đến không và y đến không đồng thời, hiểu ý chưa nhỉ? Nhé, thì các bạn không bắt buộc nhé. Giờ đây mình muốn mô tả hai cái hàng kẹp, nó phải phụ thuộc vào khoảng cách từ m đến không cho dễ làm. Vì trong đề bài chúng ta là khoảng cách mà. Khoảng cách từ m đến không phải còn x bình của mình ta là 2 đâu. Ta sẽ mô tả thế nó dễ hơn đúng không? Một biến thôi, dễ làm. Okay, now continue. We have some lemma. We have some lemma related to limit of several functions, several variable functions. The limit, okay, you can write out. You can write out. The limit when m tends to n0 is not equal. It's not equal. The limit m tends to n0. The limit y tends to y0 is not the same. It's not the same. Now, I refer to limit here. You can see the limit m tends to n0. Does that mean x tends to x0, y tends to y0 simultaneously? When we mention to the limit, what does it mean? Does it mean y tends to y0 first? Okay? When we finish the y tends to y0, to continue we take the m tends to x0. It's not simultaneous. Okay? Simultaneously is not simultaneously. Not the same. Not the same. Okay, now let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. You can see the limit. You can see the limit fy tends to 0, 0. Okay, it's based on a previous example. Even though the limit here doesn't exist, we need to see. If the y tends to 0, you can see the limit here equals 0. Okay? To continue, we take the x tends to 0. Okay? You can express it by 0. Okay? Two differences here is not the same. It's not the same. Okay? Now, continue. We have the defined continuous function. Continuous function. Let the function f defined on the set D. Let the point n0 equal to D. D contains the open disk center of n0. Now the function f is said to be continuous at n0 if the limit function f when m tends to n0 is equal the value function f at m0. Okay? The similar to single variable function, we can define the function f continuous on the set D if it's continuous at every n0 it belongs to D. can see the definition of several variable function. The same, okay? The same to a single variable function. Okay? So, if we want to check the function f, consider as equal. Okay? I need to check the three conditions, three subconditions. The first, the function f will be found at n0. The second, the limit exists. The final, the limit is equal. Okay? The similar to the property of single variable function. Okay. Now we have a remark. The function f continuous as is quite natural. If and only p but p. The following three conditions satisfied. The first, the function f will be found. The second, the limit exists. The final, the limit is equal. Okay? If any of the three conditions above fail, the function is not continuous at n0. It matters to the discontinuity at n0. Okay? Before I give you an example related to the function, I think we need some property related to function. Now, we accept some property. Continuous property of function several variables similar to the function of single variable. For example, basic elementary function. I want to mention to the function given by the simple formula. Continuous at all points, they define. Okay? Ở đây những hàm các bạn, những hàm sinh ra từ cộng trừ nhân chia, từ các hàm đa thức là giác gì đó. Thì những hàm đó liên tục tại những điểm xác định. Được chưa nhỉ? Okay. The second, it is into the piecewise function. Piecewise function. Okay, it maps into the function consists several formula. Những cái hàm piecewise function gọi là hàm từng mạch hay hàm nhịp thức. Được chưa nhỉ? Continuous at the old point in the domain. Trừ except at the junction point. Junction point là cái điểm nối giữa các object với nhau. Junction point of the formula. Tức là những hàm từng mạch, hàm nhiều công thức thì sẽ liên tục tại tất cả các điểm trong nền xác định của nó, không kể các điểm nối các công thức. Ok. Ví dụ như cái hàm x bằng tuyệt đối của x có phải cái hàm piecewise function không? X bằng tuyệt đối có chứ, nó sẽ bằng x nếu x lớn không nhỉ? Bằng dưới x lớn không? Vậy ra xung quanh điểm nào? Điểm không? Được chưa nhỉ? Ok. I think you need to write down the lemma. Write down the lemma. We can apply the property here to do the exercise. We accept the lemma without the proof. Okay? Now, let me give you an example. In fact, I get the continuity at n0 of the following function. Okay, here we do the piecewise function. The function f has the two formula. It therefore fy over s squared plus y squared. If the point fy is not constant, equal 0 is fy coincide on. Now, we want to check. Now, you can see the function here. Piecewise defined function. The function here has the harmonic junction point. Harmonic junction point. 1. Okay? 1. Junction point equals to the point. Okay? Connect two formulas. Junction point. Okay? The function here has only 1. If I want the property here, if the m0 here is not equal junction point, of course the function f continuous. Okay? So only one check. The function f continuous at m0. If m0 identical with awesome. Okay? So the solution here, we divide to 2k. K1 M0 is not times 1. The second K M0 okay times 1. Yeah, we need to divide the something here into 2K. 2K. Now let's see the solution. The first case, if the M0 is not altering, okay? If we are the property of this qualified function, the function f continued at this point. Continued at this point. Okay? You can finish the first case. The first case. To continue the second case. The second case. M0, identical with awesome. Okay? I think you want to check the function f continuous at M0 or not. Okay, I think we need to base on the definition of continuous function. Does that mean we need to check three conditions, satisfied or not? Okay? Three subconditions, satisfied or not? Now, the first, you can see the function f verified at M0. Verify or not? Yes, verify. Okay, we have the value at this point 0. Verify. To continue, we need to check the limit of function f when m tends to M0. Okay, I think we can base on previous example. The function f(y) over x squared plus y squared, okay, have no limit when m tends to 0, 0. Okay, does that mean the second subcondition don't satisfy? Does that mean the function f not continuous at this point? Okay. Trường hợp thứ hai này thì rõ ràng là dựa ở ví dụ trước đúng không nhỉ? Có phải là ví dụ trước, ví dụ liên quan cái hàm y trên thiết bị quý vị này, có phải hàm này là không có giới hạn khi mà m đến điểm không không? Vậy cái vi phạm đây nhỉ? Vi phạm rồi đúng không? Vậy cái hàm sẽ không liên tục tại điểm mà không? Okay. We will show that the limit here doesn't exist by considering two different paths of first M0 along with value fm tends to two different limits. Okay, we can interpret the remain. Okay, the same in the other example. Okay, so we have conclusion. The function f not continuous at M0. Not continuous at M0. Okay, we can based on the previous example. The function fy over x squared plus y squared. Và sau các bạn làm những công thức nhé. Tương tự đúng không nhỉ? Tương tự nhé. Okay, I think that enough for the stop.